My name is Doug. I'm 48 years of age, and I am an alcoholic and a drug addict. I also received treatment for major depression. What follows is a brief version of my story. Two things stand out about my early years. The first being the memory of my sister and myself coming home from school to find my mother passed out on the floor. This occurred with such regularity that we automatically checked for her pulse or breath and covered her with a blanket before we went out to play. The second recollection had to do with the abundance of alcohol in our home. As my father worked out of town, it was impossible for him to come home more than once or twice a month. And when he was able to make these monthly or bi-monthly visits, it was time for celebration, singing, piano playing, dancing, and of course, alcohol. I clearly remember happily consuming any drinks left over after the adults had relaxed and retired for the evening. It was also during this period, about age 9 or 10, I was already drinking 2 to 3 times weekly to get drunk. Also during this period, I was prescribed a stimulant, ephedra, which was commonly prescribed for asthma, a condition I had. Along with my drinking, I used these pills for 30 or more years until they were finally pulled from the market, and my use of ephedra set me up later for major struggles with crack cocaine and methamphetamine. Before age 18, I had overdosed twice on alcohol, once at age 13 and again at age 17. The first of these events resulted in brain damage. The second of these events resulted in me being remanded as a child in need of supervision to the New Mexico Boys School at Springer. By age 26, I had entered my first rehab and was able to maintain sobriety for 2 years. Somehow, among the chaos I called my life, I was able to maintain continuous employment with a single employer for over 25 years. Towards the end of my career, I was heavily using cocaine in addition to alcohol, and I was quite desperate to quit. So I did the only thing my illogical condition would allow. I quit my job in order to deprive myself of the money I used to fuel my addictions. After leaving my job, I began to isolate, seldom leaving my home, except to procure food or medications for my partner of 21 years, who had dealt with schizophrenia for 19 of those years. Anyone who has dealt with untreated schizophrenia will realize how important this was not only for him, but for myself as well. It was during one of these excursions to our local nonprofit service agency that something happened which would bring me a level of recovery I could not have imagined. Posted among the many flyers in the lobby, one caught my eye. The flyer announced a consumer advisory meeting the following day. Coffee and cookies would be served. And as an opportunity to enjoy hot coffee and snacks in a warm environment, it was decided that we would attend the meeting. Meeting day arrived. I was filled with anxiety and apprehension over being in a room full of strangers. Imagine my surprise when only the clinical director, my partner, and myself were present. The clinical director shared the difficulties of meaningful consumer engagement, and we shared the difficulties of life in general. I walked away from this encounter with a deep interest in consumer affairs and, more importantly, a referral to PSR, or psychosocial reintegration, a program specifically for people with severe and persistent psychiatric or substance abuse issues. While at PSR, I was given an opportunity to regain my dignity, do volunteer work, which led to a supported employment position, which in turn led to a regular position with the agency, facilitating life skills building and support services. It was also during this period that I attended my second rehab, which greatly strengthened my recovery. Thank you all for allowing me the privilege to share my story with you.